people.
On the map.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. You know what I think?
Everything in between.
So we still have on-call members, there just isn't
Because I
any,
don't, like, if I don't do it, we will scratch.
All right,
not enough
everybody ready?
staff members.
Are we ready? Cable? Yes, Cable's ready? Heather, you think Cable's ready? All right. Good evening. Welcome to Select Board meeting of Monday, August 3rd, 2026 in the town of Rutland. It is 6:04 p.m. Thank you for waiting with us through the little bit of delay while we got everything set up. This meeting is hereby called to order, and could we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We're going to jump right in. Could I get a motion to sign Treasury Warrant 27-3 and Payroll 27 PW3?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
That's an aye.
Wait,
And Dib, aye. Thank you very much. And we have one set of meeting minutes from July 20th, 2026 as presented. One quick note, if you'll see, if anybody is following along with us online, using our online agenda, you'll see that a lot of our attachments, instead of now being separate documents, are actually embedded links inside of our agenda, so you can click on that if you'd like to see those minutes right away.
motion to approve the minutes for July 20th, 2026 as present. Actually, I have one suggestion.
Okay,
Just put the date on them.
oh, sounds
At the
good.
top it's blank. It just says meeting time.
It's a new system
I
for
was
minutes.
going to say I like the format with where it calls out in the video the time in the video that everything is, but then that's why I was paused because I was looking at the minutes and the date's not there, so.
The date,
Could
why
we-
not, Leah?
could
I
we-
mean, if you're gonna be picky, we'll add the date to the minutes.
So motion to approve as presented with the edits is just filling in the top chair, meeting time, date, location, members present, meetings respectfully submitted by information.
Perfect. Is there a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? All right, and so if we could have a vote with those additions as suggested.
That's an aye.
We're gonna,
Second aye.
And Dib, aye. Thank you very much. I am going to go out of order, which is apparently as usual, but I just wanna make sure, do we have everyone here that you know of?
No.
We don't yet. All right,
I reached out to them, I don't even know if they're coming.
all right. I'm gonna play it by ear. When you're ready, we're gonna go out of order and we'll do you, okay? So we could do it now, I could wait a little bit.
Maybe like 10 minutes.
Okay, sounds good. And if anybody's paying attention, we're talking about some recognition awards from our public safety departments. That's number 8.5 tonight, and we do have some people here for that already. Gonna jump over to public comment. Is there anyone here for public comment?
After you, Mrs. Pugliafico. And after you.
Okay,
Name and address, please.
Corinne Pugliafico, 11B Sunnyside Ave, Rutland, Mass. And I'm here in regards to the situation with the 4th of July. You said you wanted to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm here to address the ugly. And I'm hoping to get an apology from Harry. I listened to the last selectmen's meeting and was appalled at Harry's comments. His first comment was, and I quote, "We had a huge earthquake in this town." Well, I've never been in a huge earthquake, but I have been in a huge tornado when 2 people that I knew personally were killed less than a quarter of a mile from where I was sheltered in a cellar. And canceling the parade and fireworks felt nothing like that. His last comment was, and I quote again, "No more 9/11s, that's it, no more." And if that's what it felt like from the town's perspective. Harry, if that was your perspective, that's one thing. But I'm part of this town, and I don't appreciate your including me in a quote as disturbing as that was. No one died, no one was injured, there was no destruction. All there was, when you come right down to it, was disappointment. And I'm sure that no one was more disappointed than the committee who worked on this for almost a year. And to make it more important than that is a disservice to the hard work the committee put into the planning.
Thank you.
So I'm looking for an apology from you for even insinuating that as part of this town, that I had even the slightest idea that this was like a 9/11. I think it's an insulting comparison.
You're entitled to your comment.
Okay.
Okay. Are you getting up ready for public comment? Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Luke Carnicoli, 18 Blueberry Lane. Two things. Number one, I realize, I know the three buildings, the three school buildings, we maintain big maintenance things on those, like roads and stuff like that. The school department does do some maintenance, correct, on the buildings?
Well, under the regional agreement, there's a cap, so any project that goes over
I'm
the
trying to remember.
Yep.
You know, I've got off the board in
They-
06,
yeah.
my brain is getting old too.
regular daily maintenance,
Okay.
they are responsible for small
Here's,
projects.
okay, as you know, I was chairman of the Board of Selectmen and chairman of the building committee for Glenwood, so it's got a special place in my heart. And when I come up to different meetings and stuff, and I notice that all of the light posts, all the way up, the bases are all rusted. So, if either the town, if that comes under our purview, or if it comes under the school's purview, that you would contact them and buy the paint. I'm a retired painter, and I will spend the rest of the summer, a couple of hours a day, painting all of those bases so they don't rust away to nothing. So I'll wait for you, if it can be done, I'll be more than happy to do it, no cost to the town.
There is a relatively new principal at Glenwood. I would actually recommend you walk in, introduce yourself and start there.
Okay, I certainly will do
Lovely
that.
person. And I
Okay,
think,
so you have
and
to,
I think if he says he's going to require some type of approval process, we'll go from there, but let's
Okay.
start with the principal.
all right, I will do that tomorrow.
Great.
As you know, we have, the town has, under the town section of our community, 5 flagpoles. And over the last year or so, with the advent of the new flagpole last year and since then, we have 3 of our 5 flagpoles now have solar lights. So the flags are lit at night. I have been able to procure legally, nothing illegal here, legally, 3 more solar lights, which the Carnicoli family is donating to the town of Rutland. Hopefully they will fit. Knowing how the ingenious that Chris is, he'll make them fit. And there's one left over. You can either keep it for a backup, or you can take the third one and put it at Glenwood. And I will see if I can get 2 more for the other school. So this is a gift from my family to yours. 3 solar lights.
Nice job.
Mr. Spectacular.
Thank you.
Heather, I'm making myself a note as well. I think we're at the point now where the town has to accept the gifts from the Carnicoli family, so for the special town meeting in the fall, I think we're gonna have an article for you.
Okay. And one of my items for the town administrator's report I can share now is that through the collaboration of the school district and the town, the sidewalks at Glenwood that were in such terrible shape, those have been resurfaced in their entirety. They have not been rebuilt, but they've been resurfaced, so they are no longer an absolute hazard. And the district purchased the materials and the town did the labor, so we have a track record of that type of collaboration, and I'm sure that that the principal and the district
See him tomorrow.
will appreciate
Thank
your offer.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
That's- Check one off my list.
Check it off the list. Is there anyone else here for public comment? Yes?
Lindsay Moss, 119 Brentnell. I'm here for 2 topics. I'm gonna start with 4th of July, to go off of that. I was disappointed in the tenor of the conversation last week. I think this whole topic is very nuanced, and there's no right or wrong, and we all have different opinions. But I felt like last week, there was a lot of the 4th of July committee should have done more. Public safety should have done more. Nick Monaco should have done more. The select board should have done more. And nobody acknowledged the residents. The only acknowledging of the residents was we owe it to the residents. But the residents are the ones that voted no on the override. The town voted this way, and yeah, there's some discomfort with it, but it's not our job, your job, the committee's jobs, public safety's job to take them out of that discomfort. People knew what they were voting for when they voted for it, and I think Jean Sigliano made the comment that if we were just gonna do it all anyways, what drive is there for people to vote for the override? And so there was no acknowledgement that the residents voting this way is what has put us in this situation. Public safety didn't put us in this situation. 4th of July committee didn't put us in this situation. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't vote that down and then expect the town to still give you everything that you want, even though you're not doing your part as well. That's my opinion on that. I sent a letter to the select board. I realized that it can't be addressed tonight, but I just wanted to come in person and say that I'm speaking on behalf of the Brittenell residents and even some of the residents on the side streets that road is not what it was a couple years ago. There's too many cars. They go too fast. It's not safe anymore. And we're losing the beauty of that road. And I feel like every time I talk to somebody, oh, that's this person. Oh, no, you have to talk to DPW. Oh, no, you have to talk to police. Oh, no, you have to talk to planning board. And I'm just wondering who's gonna take ownership of protecting not just Brittenell, but all of the scenic roads in town. We're losing the beauty of this town. And I'm pleading that we do something.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
did send a letter,
I
an
did.
email, and we did respond to you
Yep.
today, to let you know that we actually
Yep.
put that on to the agenda
Yep,
for the
I
next
got the
meeting, so
response.
I appreciate that
I
you
just
brought
wanted
it
to
up
be
again.
here in person. I didn't wanna just be that person that said something through the computer. It's easy to do things on the computer without showing up, right? So I'm here to,
We're happy
show
at
up
any,
as well.
we're happy at any feedback regardless of the form, so that's fine. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Is there anyone else here for open session? Okay, I just, wanna comment, and actually I feel like I should let Paul comment, that I have lived here for a while, and I have never until last weekend been to Finn Park. And I went to the barbecue, and what a cool, they talk about things being hidden gems, and I just wanna say, Finn Park is just a hidden gem. I really had no idea. So I thank Paul, and I thank the committee, and actually I suppose this kind of started with 4th of July, right? Because the Sovietaya Society was going to be our grand marshals, and I think I pronounced that wrong, but in any case, I wanted to say thank you. If Paul would like to speak more on it, please feel free, and if not, we will move on.
Thank you. And if I have a question to Mr. Cannacchioli. A year ago, when you were discussing the bandstand and the electrical work that was gonna be there, it was also brought up about the sound system and that you were gonna discuss that with Bay Path as well. I'm just wondering if that had taken place or if there were any results, or anything.
The only thing that I'm aware of right now is the electrical piece. I have to get a hold of, as you know, it fell through, it never took place in the spring. There was miscommunication on both sides of the ledger, okay? So there's no blame for anybody except miscommunication. So hopefully, I've been trying to get a private person to come in and do electrical work, but I fell short on that. So I'm gonna take a ride, in the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna take a ride over to Bay Path and talk to the person that assigns those projects and make sure that we're at the top of the list. I will bring up again the second time about the sound system. Electrical piece, we're all set. As I told you once before, a gentleman that grew up in this town, who's now a CEO of a company, is gonna donate all of the material needed for the electrical, lights, wires, plugs, switches, etc. Sound system, I'll have to look into that, but I'll talk to them at Bay Path to see if they do that. I don't know if they do that. but I will let you know.
They do, but I would be glad to explain to you just what the point was that I was trying to make.
Okay,
tonight.
now why don't you do that before I go over there?
No problem.
I probably won't go over there till after the 17th of August,
Fine.
all right? Thank you.
Alright. Anything else for public comment? Okay. We're gonna move on to number 5. We have an appointment of a constable, Mark Mosio. In your SharePoint, I believe you have his letter. Or in your packet.
So moved.
And that's to appoint him constable. It's actually not a letter, it's, well, it is. It's a note, it's a note.
Was that your move, Paul?
Yep.
Okay,
Made a motion to appoint.
second.
Great. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Matt's and I.
Mount I.
Wait a minute.
Second I.
And do I. Thank you very much. We are good. We're gonna go out of order right now. We're gonna head to the bottom of our agenda to an award that somebody would like to present. Come on in, Deputy Chief. Both of you. Glad to, no.
I'm on it.
All the people coming in, please bring.
Bring them in. All the way up. Bring them up there, up front. Bring them up front.
Thanks for having us tonight. I'm here to, unfortunately, only one person showed up, Lieutenant Gleason. So I'm here to present a couple life-saving awards.
Can you introduce yourself first, just to make sure?
Yes, Deputy Quinn of the Rutland Fire Department.
Thank you.
So a couple life-saving awards, as well as a stork pin for delivery of a child. So back in, I believe it was March, Mike?
That's around then.
Yeah. Back in March, Mike was actually on his going home from shift, and a call came out over 911 for a imminent childbirth on Route 68. So Mike happens to live in that area, and on his way home, he jetted over along with Officer Foster from the police department, and through their teamwork, they successfully delivered a child.
All right. Good job.
There's also another stork pinning about to Medic LaBelle. Again, it was late at night, probably 2 a.m. Second medical came in for another imminent childbirth on Maple Ave. He left the first medical, went to the second one, and assisted Paxton in delivering another child. So those are awesome things that don't ever happen very often. And then secondly, life-saving awards. So this goes to Pat Coffey, Lieutenant Gleason again, Jackie Becker, Patrick Sullivan, Jason LaBelle, and Mike Donnelly. These are 3 separate incidents. Both were called to, let's say, chest pain. Units got there, the patient was talking verbal to them, and then in front of the caregivers, went into cardiac arrest. All 3 patients are alive to this day, thanks to the efforts of Lieutenant Gleason and other members. So I wanted to recognize them today and give them credit for what they did, because that is an amazing feat to save a life. So. That's it.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I,
you.
I know a lot of the names that you just listed are not
They're not
here with
with
us
us anymore.
anymore, and we appreciate
Yeah.
their efforts and
Thank you for your
we
time.
miss them.
And if I may, I appreciate that you are doing this,
for you
Ryan,
guys.
and I would like, if it's possible, to keep kind of these acknowledgements going,
Yeah.
whether it's public safety and other departments as well, but I know you guys are going a million different directions and not always appreciated
Mhm.
or seen, so thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming in tonight. Thank you,
Yes.
Lieutenant Gleason. Thank you for bringing young guests.
Yes,
You
yeah.
know,
First meeting.
not typical for us. Made the meeting a little better. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good
Good
night.
night, thank you.
I thought it was show and tell.
Next time.
All right, I'm gonna move on now and get back in order to number 6, interboard communication. Tonight we have the Council on Aging with us. Welcome. I think we have a few of you here. Are you gonna stay in the back? Yeah, you're comfortable up against it. Can you just introduce yourselves to us? Thank you.
I'm Nancy Nichols, the Director of the Council on Aging. I'm Karen Giuliano, the Chair of the Council on Aging.
And Jessica Flaherty, I'm a board member.
Mike Larry, just by chairman.
Great, thank you so much, back row, for being here tonight. You have a document in your packet that was provided to us by the Council on Aging as an update, the Board of Directors, and you know, obviously we don't need you to read it to us, but we would love to have a bit of a discussion. Is there anything you wanted to highlight to us? Are there things that you wanted to bring to the forefront?
Sorry for my sunglasses, they're prescription.
Okay. It adds coolness to the, yeah, we're good.
Anyways, the board asked me to just condense what the meeting was about, that we discussed this request. So, I guess the two of the things that are, still in process, the ADA compliant bathroom, we're just waiting for the new building inspector to come back, because we had to have the contractor come back to do a few things.
Okay.
And I believe he's back from vacation, the inspector, tomorrow. So that should be wrapped up in the next week or two. Room 2 is of concern because it was damaged by an ice dam, and it's been months and months. The previous building inspector stopped the project at some point. And it's just never been restored. It's been, the demolition's all been done, but the renovation has not. Last I heard from the insurance company, they would be back last week or this week to do the roof repair, because there were damages to the tiles that they have to replace, and then they can do the inside. So we're just hoping, obviously, it gets done before the cold weather comes. So that's.
And I'll just comment, I don't know if there's anything that you folks need to do or who needs to do this, but it would be very helpful if there was a protocol. When there's damage or when there's a project or whatever, what is it that we're supposed to follow? Who is responsible? Because it seems to be, well, it's Nancy's job to do that. And then the next thing you hear, no, it's the inspector's job. It's very confusing. And if some of that could be just worked out, I don't know if it's with Heather or who, that if you have a project, these are the things you need to do. And these are the people you need to consult with in order to make it run smoothly, because it's been down since April. That's a long time to clean up a mess and have it back in order, because we have been without that room.
So who hired Service Master?
The insurance company?
The insurance company is choosing your.
Well, I don't know, cause we put, Heather, we put in a claim, right,
Yeah,
to
and
the
then it
insurance
goes from
company, and
there.
then I believe they do that.
See, that's the
Is
kind of thing
correct.
that I'm trying to
Yeah,
say, you know, that's the kind.
Our insurance,
we can certainly
Okay.
streamline that.
okay,
Just to help a little.
Nancy's mentioned this to me before, it just I haven't done it yet.
That's okay,
But-
that's okay.
For sure, there can be a better, more, I guess, identified step-by-step process
okay,
of how we resolve these issues.
okay. I'm just a little stuck on the insurance company providing the
So,
roofer. It
because,
seems strange.
because they would render payment,
Well, I know, but.
so they would,
Yeah, I mean,
they would
normally,
provide their preferred contractor.
Sure, but you pick from the list, you don't, there's no list?
Not with, no,
Okay, not with Maya,
in private insurance, yes,
Fair enough.
but not so much,
not so much.
not so
All right.
much. But making sure that these projects are completed in a timely and efficient manner is certainly something that follows up on my office.
Yeah,
And Nancy and Karen have both done their due diligence reaching out, and
okay,
it's, I can make sure that I'm facilitating that better.
all right.
Next thing on the list, and I just wanna hand you guys this, a conserving paper. I only made 3 copies, but I just to give an idea of what we do, I did a description of, pretty much a detailed description of what Council on Aging is responsible for underneath a simplified version, if you don't feel like reading the full. Just, again, just a synopsis of what the council does. And that this baby boom generation is the biggest generation, and here we are, which is why you have more people over 60 than you do have under 20. So which brings me to the next point on the list, which is the outreach. That was a huge loss to lose that. We're doing the best that we can. phone calls consistently. Half the things that we do are for active seniors that come in and take part in the programming. The other half or more now of what we do are resources, which is get people to what they need, whether it's home health or medical devices, borrow durable medical equipment, you know, they just don't know the process. Most people don't ask until they need it. That's just human nature, but then all of a sudden they have a relative or they themselves that are in trouble, they need help, so that's what we try and do, is get them to the right resource. I was able to secure a grant from Mass Council on Aging, a service incentive grant is called, to help us, because I think that this problem is everybody's suffering with loss or increasing the outreach and maybe not have the staffing or the resources to meet that need. So I was able to secure a $20,000 grant to help us do like a service resource center to set it up so that people can come in and help themselves. Probably have a computer in there, a phone, and 12 hours of staffing at least for the year. So that if people need help, you know, specifically to learn how to do this. So that's a positive of the concerns that we have. As well as you guys are aware that Senator Peter Durant's office was able to get a grant for us for renovations or updates for the seniors. So we have some ideas with that, and we'll work with them as soon as we know that has been secured. And celebrating Seniors Day, there's all different kinds of celebrations we do through the year. There is one in September, so we just wanna recognize people and put word out there that we're here if you need us.
I think there's a misconception, and I'm not saying by the group that's here, but just out there in the public, that the senior center is basically people coming together to drink coffee and eat donuts. We do on Mondays, and we even have baked goods on Monday, but it's much more than that. We have people who come in there and have no food. We've had people come in there who have no oil in their tank in the wintertime. We've had people who have come in and their electricity is gonna be shut off. And these are the kinds of things, or just simply securing a health plan for the next year and the panic that comes over their faces when they come in, because they don't know if they're gonna lose their insurance, they don't know what to do. And Nancy has been able to secure the experts to come in and help them through that process. Then they come back to the cafe and they're all smiles. I feel so much better now. But those are the kinds of things. We also do exercise, 32 people in an exercise class. Anytime we're doing something to help our seniors be healthy, cuts down on the calls to the Rutland Ambulance Service, et cetera, because we're hoping to get people healthier than they were, you know, last week or the week before. So there's a lot going on, and I not only encourage, I really strongly recommend that if you have a chance to stop by. Summertime probably not as busy, but we're busy. In the fall, forget it. And we even have people coming from Holden because their place is shut down and they're eating over at our place. And that's kind of a nice thing that they're using our facilities and they're coming over and they're joining in and they're very happy. So, and the only other comment I have, well, two. One is on the grant that we got from Durant's office. And again, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody in this room, but both Nancy and I got seething emails demanding that we turn over all minutes and all correspondence with Durant's office, et cetera, because there seemed to be implied that there was suspicion that we went behind someone's back. That grant or gift was announced to us at our COA board meeting. Someone came in and announced it to all of us, including Nancy. And it was a complete surprise, a welcome one, but it was just that tone of suspicion that was put over on us that we had done something wrong. And this is where I guess I'd like to say my final comment is teamwork. We have to be a team. We should be happy if Nancy can secure a grant. We should be delighted and happy for any department that can get a grant. If they've done the groundwork and can secure that, and it doesn't require the signature of Heather, God bless them. That's only gonna help us. That renovation grant is gonna keep the money in the town and not ask for town money to help us renovate or secure any kind of upgrades to our facility. And I guess the last thing I would say is Rutland is a great town. I've been here just a short time, but I've enjoyed it. But we are in a struggling situation. We are in what some people would call a crisis. But in a trope that John F. Kennedy used often, crisis has two meanings: danger but opportunity. And I strongly believe in every place I've been, and I've gone into places that I had to clean it up after financial, administrative, murder, had to do one of those one time. And it takes teamwork to make something successful. And when we're successful, you're successful. When you're successful, we're successful. And I guess that's all I would like to promote, that we somehow figure out how we can work as a team and move forward and not be so suspicious of everything that's being done. Because we're only there for the good of the seniors and for the town in the long run. A healthy elderly community is a healthy town. And as we grow in the town, I think we're 26% or close to it, that's only gonna grow, I think. I don't think that number's gonna go down. So we wanna be successful for the youth, and we've worked with the youth, we love it, we've been pen pals with them, it's been great, but we'd like to do even more. So we just like your support in that you're on our side, we want us to succeed, we want you to succeed. Thank you.
I'll just add a little bit, I couldn't have said it any better, those are a lot of the same words I was gonna use. But I'll emphasize on the fact of, like you said, with the population, we're about 25%, but I think it's closing up to 30%. And it's, I mean, the elderly population in town is increasing at a great number. But the needs are going even more. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't see, including yourselves. And it would be nice if you could spend some time, not there for the coffee or for the chair yoga, but just to see what goes in behind the office and the phone calls that come in and the need. And we don't have the outreach right now. I have to commend Nancy on the job that she's doing, because everything's on her shoulders right now. And what we can do to help her is a big deal. But that need is strong. And we had that outreach, and losing that and some of the things that we've lost there is very difficult to maintain. And the need is not decreasing, it's increasing. So to echo that, yeah, any help and additional things you could do, the grants are nice, and it's great that she's looking in. Thank God Peter did and giving that, but you know, it's not ending and we need more. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions? No? No? I do, I apologize. I don't expect you to have all the answers tonight, but you had me thinking about some things based on what you were talking about. So I heard a couple numbers. Do you have any idea, like, is it, according to this, it's over age 50? Do we have any idea how many seniors there are over 50 or over, 50, 60, 70? Is that a breakdown that you'd be able to give us, or?
I'll get it for you.
Okay,
Just so you know, Elder Services is what services, their classification is 60 plus.
okay.
But then there are other organizations, AARP is 50 plus, but yeah, we can break that down.
How many people are actively using the center, and then how many people, so for example, how many visits do you have in a given week, which might be the same people every day, but it would be interesting to see those numbers,
I can run numbers pretty quickly.
again, based on the population, right? Because we want to track and make sure that if the aging population is increasing, that the use of the building is also increasing, and figure out how we can do that. So I would love those numbers. How many homebound elders are you all keeping in touch with? Is that part of, outreach?
Only the ones we know about, and sometimes sadly, we don't know about it until someone tells us.
And that's an outreach question, correct? So if we have outreach hours and availability, we might hear about it more if we're able to.
If we hear about something, we would go into the outreach or to Nancy now.
Okay.
And say, so-and-so is sick,
Okay,
or we haven't seen so-and-so.
okay.
We do that kind of
It's a
stuff.
bit reactive, right? You can't just, hi, are you homebound? You can't
Not
just
unless
start-
somebody brings that to us, or sometimes through Elder Services meals, when the driver comes back, they'll report that somebody's in the hospital or whatever, so that's how we hear about them.
How
Those are
many-
our homebound.
And sometimes we'll make, like during COVID, we called every single person that we knew of as a resident, starting with the oldest one down.
Okay,
And sometimes we can't say anything much more than, I'm calling from the Council on Aging, just letting you know we're here. Is there anything, this is what we provide, is there anything we can do for you?
okay, so
We
that was
also do that
about,
if someone tells us about someone, but we can't be intrusive, we just have to.
right. That was 5 years ago. Does that information you still have? Is it something that with volunteers you could do again? Because when we talk about outreach and just checking in.
We have to be careful because as volunteers, we're not covered.
Uh-huh.
And if there's confidential information that's shared with us, and Jessica's an attorney, she can say it better, but we have to be careful of the questions that are asked
Okay,
and what they do with the information that they're given.
okay.
So that's why the outreach person that's paid for and covered by the town is so important.
Is trained to
Trained, yeah,
ask the
all
right
of that.
questions.
Correct.
Well, yeah, and it's never been a full-time position, so it's
No.
always been me plus however many,
Yeah.
hours that person can do.
Okay.
But we have done some surveys before. That's one really important thing about the newsletter, because it is the biggest form of outreach that reaches the most people. So at least when we've had people call and say, oh, I didn't know you offered this service. My neighbor, I've noticed, is forgetting or, needs this, that, or the other thing. So it's word of mouth. I mean, I will tell you, sadly, there are a lot of people out there that need help and don't even want you to know they need help.
I mean,
So that's why until we hear,
yeah,
we don't often know they're there. We
Okay.
can just make ourselves known as best as possible.
okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna finish mine and then you're gonna go.
Yeah, fine.
You brought up the newsletter, I'm fascinated by it. I mean, you really are the only by mail piece of information that is going out to townspeople. How many are going out per month at this point?
1100, yeah. And then we have them at the post office, at the library.
And you leave them, and you are, I think, the only organization in town that still has an indicia, is that correct? You have a permit.
Mhm. Yeah, we do. We didn't for a long time, but
Right.
then we were able to
I
get
need
one that was much cheaper.
I'm sorry, Anita, we've given up all of our other
Right.
indicias, correct?
Yep.
Okay,
Part of
Okay.
the reason is the post office's requirements are different. So we've switched a lot to
Okay.
our mailing.
do you mind me asking, what is it costing you to get that newsletter out?
About $241 a month.
About 241.
It seems to stay right around there. Sometimes it goes up,
Okay.
sometimes down.
And that's including postage and printing.
Yes,
I feel like
because
it's
the
about
advertisers are paying for the printing and the production.
Okay, wait, so is the 241 out of pocket, but it costs more?
Well, it would if we didn't have the advertisers. So we
Okay.
work with LPI, which is a lot of the church bulletins
Yep.
and the newsletters. They recruit advertisers. The advertisers, to run their ads, pay so much for whatever size ad per year. And that's what prints that publication for us. And so then they deliver it to us. We have volunteers that fold it, which is a big job, but
Yep.
if we had them mail it, it would be like another $700 for them to fold it and
Oh, okay,
mail it out.
okay, so you're getting it printed with your permit that you pay for. Okay, sorry,
No, don't be
obviously
sorry.
this is, communication
you're
generally
interested.
has become such a big topic of conversation and everybody's asking us for ways we can get actual mail, right, physical mail out, and you're the only ones who do it.
Yeah, and I imagine over time, like some people say, why don't you just drop it, but that's our biggest form of outreach and we're not ready to drop it yet. Maybe as time goes on and people, come into that age, they're already familiar with computers and digital, it'll be different, but we're not ready to be
Not
different
there yet.
Can I just, before Corinne goes, may I just piggyback on something? I wonder if as schools are as back to school and everything is starting, if it's worth seeing if the principals and or PTOs would put a blurb in their newsletters just about the Council on Aging as a resource, because as family aged individuals, you might have neighbors or family members, and especially with the decrease in outreach and everything now, just kind of for that neighbor, looking out for neighbors kind of thing.
That's a good idea.
Just as an awareness to the broader population in town, that might not fit the age specific requirements, but are very connected to people that do fit those age specific.
No, that's a good idea. And we try and, when there used to be Public Safety Day, for years, we did that. We try and get out there when there's something going on. The Halloween candy distribution, we have our drivers come with the van last year, that was successful.
The expo.
So, yeah, anything we can get out there and show people,
Has
we try and do.
Has the town been putting anything, has it ever asked to put anything into your newsletter about an upcoming town meeting?
We always
We always put it
do,
in.
we always
You
ask
put a
for it,
little-
we put it in there.
Okay.
We even offered
Elections.
bus service up there if they didn't wanna park at Glenwood.
Oh.
Use our bus to bring them up.
Really?
That's offered also.
Okay, thank you. I heard you about, I'm almost done, I swear to God.
Yeah, okay.
I heard you about oil, utilities, all those needs. What other things are there that are sort of high on your list that Rutland right now might not be able to provide, but we should start thinking about? you know, if you had if somebody said you can have anything you want, anything you could ask for, what would you ask for?
Wish list.
Yeah, a wish list, I think, you know, we could do a lot more intergenerationally. We used to have like a harvest dinner at the end of summer, beginning of fall. That brought in awareness and it was great for socialization, you know? We've had things like the pen pals or
Jessica did the
reading at
pen
the
pals.
library.
And what we're looking at this year is possibly doing cursive writing.
Great.
In
Yeah.
elementary school, because that's been
Yep.
raised as a concern.
Yep.
So, but I mean, you know, they're small projects, but at least it's something.
Okay.
And as far as, you know, like the oil, we have funds, we sell raffle tickets every year.
Okay.
And a lot of people do participate in that, so that's how we raise money to put into that fund. We have an Alzheimer respite fund now, so if somebody, caregiver needs a break. And how do we get people interested in that? We bring programming in. And most of that is free from organizations that come and speak about these things, you know. I have a geriatric consultant that comes in and she offers free consultations and she's done caregiver support groups and.
Jessica's done things like health proxy
Yeah.
and things like that people aren't, we also have another attorney who comes in and does wills and trusts with them. We have a podiatrist, we have a haircut place, a salon, I mean, there are lots of services offered. One of the most popular ones is probably the hearing.
Okay.
Speaking of.
So what, if we can have anything, I guess it would be just to let people know we're there.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at your website, it's really well updated, and I think actually the one thing that I don't see on here is an ability for people to donate to some of the,
That's on the back of the newsletter, isn't it?
maybe it's in the newsletter, but of course, only the seniors get the newsletter.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, the newsletter, but of course, only the seniors get the newsletter.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, are we hearing? The newsletter, but of course, only the seniors get the newsletter.
Yeah.
I think it says probably. Okay. Yeah, are we hearing? The newsletter, but of course, only the seniors get the newsletter.
Yeah.
I think it says probably. Okay. I think, you know what it is? Yeah, are we hearing? The newsletter, but of course, only the seniors get the newsletter. I think it says probably. Okay. I think, you know what it is? Yeah, are we hearing? The newsletter, but of course, only the seniors get the newsletter. I think it says probably. Okay. I think, you know what it is? Yeah, are we hearing? The newsletter, but of course, only the seniors get the newsletter. I think it says probably. Okay. I think, you know what it is? Yeah, are we hearing? The newsletter, but of course, only the seniors get the newsletter. I think it says probably. Okay. I think, you know what it is? Yeah, are we hearing? The newsletter, but of course, only the seniors get the newsletter. I think it says probably. Okay. I think, you know what it is? Yeah, are we hearing? The newsletter, but of course, only the seniors get the newsletter. I think it says probably. Okay. I think, you know what it is? Yeah, are we hearing? The newsletter, but of course, only the seniors get the newsletter. I think it says probably. Okay. I think, you know what it is? Yeah, are we hearing? The newsletter, but of course, only the seniors get the newsletter.
A couple of organizations I met at the Mass Council on Aging meetings that have started organizations where they'll collect gifts, like you're assigned a senior or two, and they'll collect gifts and for every holiday, they'll send a card, and so there are programs that do that that have already gone through all this training and they'll come out and train us. I'd like to get to that point, but again, it's like another thing, when do you have time to, it's hard to do without staff.
Right.
And during the
So-
summer, we're lucky to have produce.
Yeah.
We get a hold of some produce and we had a very generous donor give us some money towards that, so that we're providing produce like once a week. Where we secure it at one of the farms and it comes in and then we hand it out for Rutland residents. And that has helped, because we have a couple of people, and we get eggs, sometimes cheese, things like that. And you'd be surprised at who will come around at that time and you know that's what they want. And that's fine.
And we've done that since COVID, we just were able to keep it going.
Okay. Thank you.
Through the chair.
Yep.
You mentioned electricity, heat. Do you have people coming in there who take advantage of the lunch program that can't pay for it, or there's a
Well,
problem?
yeah, the lunch
We had a
is
couple,
just a
but not-
suggested donation,
yeah,
it's not
it's not
an actual
mandated.
charge.
So if they can't afford it, no one's
don't
gonna
even
ask them
ask.
for it.
We appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
I know everybody appreciates everything you do. I know we appreciate, and I don't mean to speak out of turn, I know Heather had brought up that, you know, we're gonna try to use the building a little more now that we've got limitations here for town meetings, and we appreciate that was gonna be made available as well, and hopefully it can be mutually beneficial, like you were saying. Yeah. Is there anything else you've got for us? No?
We got it.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks for hanging with us. All right, under old business, there is just really quick, under 7.1 for the budget, which we committed to leaving on the agenda, as painful as it is, but the one we're gonna start with is the survey questions, which is essentially just starting that process of hearing from people about how they were feeling last spring and how they're feeling moving forward. And interestingly, we've already had feedback on this survey, which it literally Heather put together for us using, you know, whatever tools we had available, and it was just meant to be a draft. So the phrasing of the survey engendered someone writing in and saying, this is not a great survey, and I would like to be in the communications committee and help give you some pointers on how to make the survey better, which I think is amazing,
Those people are looking at our agendas.
right? So, yeah. So if you had time to look at it, it is very basic. We will tweak it. And in fact, what we could do is hand it off as a first project to a newly seated communications committee, if you would like. You also, obviously, everyone here is free to make suggestions and comments about whatever you would like on it. It is pretty big right now, right? It's whatever, 5 pages. And there are some points in there that make an assumption about where your learning process has started, which might be something we want to play with, right? We might want to bring it down a couple of notches with that. But yeah, that's it. If somebody has any comments tonight, great. If you have notes on it, you want to. I do still hear this echo.
Yeah, it's,
Somebody's on mute, I think. Somebody's got their computer on.
Not me.
You're not even logged in on the call.
No,
No.
but my.
Paul,
What's up?
Okay.
No problem.
was it you?
Hmm?
Was it, what, did you have it on? No?
No, I'm all set.
Sorry, so we get a little sidetracked. All right, does anybody have any preliminary comments on the survey, about moving forward with it, about any timing on it?
If I may, I think, we haven't yet seated the communications committee, and I think that call just went out, so I don't know that we're going to seat that committee in the next meeting.
Sure.
And I was kind of hoping to get this survey out kind of at the start of the fall, like as we start talking about like the September, October timeline, as we start talking about the budget to get a understanding as to where people are falling. So I like that idea, and I like the interest that it has brought forward. But I don't know that timing wise that would work in my mind. I'm not opposed to the conversations. I do think that it's long, and I think pulling together, teasing out some of the kind of municipal government
The terms.
terms and
The lingo.
is going to be important.
Yep.
But other than that, I think I don't know that we can make it much shorter, maybe condense a few, but I think we need a lot of the information. And once you start going through it, I think it would be relatively click through.
Okay. All right, we're gonna treat this as a work in progress. I think by next meeting, we should have it a little bit better based on the input that we're getting, which is a fantastic start. Please, anyone is welcome to take a look at that. It is available, and make whatever comments you like. For number 7.2 under old business, the town administrator review, Harry was good enough to submit some comments about the review document that we will be using. If you are okay with the proposed changes, we're gonna just go ahead and use this form. And this will be what this body uses as our evaluation document for Heather. And she, of course, has her own document for herself.
It's fine.
It seemed very straightforward.
No feedback? I'd like, okay.
Works.
Okay.
All right, I don't think that requires a vote, so we're gonna stick with the document, with the edits that were provided to us. And if this body could provide, your feedback in time for next meeting. This is not a document that will go into the packet. This is a document that will stay with the chair, be collated, and then we will each get, actually be a paper copy that night of all of our comments. And that won't happen until Heather is ready with her self-evaluation, and we'll have that conversation in one meeting. All right. So that's homework for everyone under old business, which is just time to complete your document. We will resend you the link to that document, or a paper copy if you wish.
I was gonna say, can we get the link for the fillable?
The fillable
Form.
PDF, yeah,
Yeah,
for sure,
yeah.
or a paper
Word,
copy.
yeah,
Yeah.
or a Word doc or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
7.3, I need to write a letter, which I haven't done yet. And does anybody have any thoughts about what the plan there is, which is the Foundation Formula Review Commission has now been approved as part of this current budget and legislative cycle. And I would like to really work at us sending a letter to the governor, but not just us, basically ensuring that the other select boards, the school committee, ideally, maybe the superintendent do it as well. If you have thoughts on that, please just send them to Heather and she can get them to me.
Do we have an idea of who we're trying to get on that, or are we just trying to get somebody from the school district?
Personally, I have no preference. I just want somebody from our district, largest district in the state, largest regional district in the state.
Whether it's district or school board, is that the thought process?
I'm not sure that it would necessarily matter. It could be a former school committee member or a current, it could be somebody who's a current member of one of the select boards or former. Yeah, I
It could
think
be
just,
staff,
it could
like,
be
it could
staff.
be district
Yeah.
staff, it could be,
I think ensuring there's a voice from central Massachusetts is the important part, so.
Is the governor allocating a certain number of seats? Or that hasn't been figured out yet?
I don't think there's any
I
rhyme
feel
or
like that was
reason.
talked about when I
When
asked
Peter and Kim were
Peter
here.
and Kim, but yeah, I don't know.
Cause I'm thinking you could push for two,
Okay, I mean,
doesn't have to be
Yeah.
just one.
I think,
I met with Senator Durant's office during office hours about a week ago and spoke about this.
Mhm.
Out of the 29 seats, a lot of the seats have already been determined. Because it's head of this and chair of this and whatever. He said that it wasn't Senator Durant, it was one of his people who said there's actually very few seats that are able to be selected. And it sounds like time is of the essence if we want to snag one of those very few seats available.
Okay.
I know one of the seats is the chair of the regional school districts, which is the superintendent of Quabbin.
which is great. I mean, it's better than nothing, but.
Well, and then once he said that a lot of the seats were already picked, we were curious to see, is anybody from this region at all?
So the number of ad hoc open seats is
Is
limited,
minimal.
very limited, okay.
And they're actively picking, it sounds like, soon.
Okay, thank you. Did you wanna add to that? No?
No.
No, okay.
No, just, I think I was gonna piggyback on that it sounded like they didn't necessarily had a set, at the time when Peter and Kim were here, they weren't sure if it was going to be approved, so they didn't have a set number for how many would be on, but they said it is probably likely this organization gets this many people or this representation
Right.
or whatever, and it's playing that game. So I think we had the conversation even about whether to really advocate for Wachusett, but even work with MARS, the Mass Association of Regional Schools, which it sounds like might be also, but something that is very regional, school specific, so.
Yeah, I'm just quickly looking and I can't necessarily find who everyone is.
Which is why myself and a few people went to those office hours, cause there's very little information out there. And he was able to give us more information than we were able to find on the internet.
It says co-chairs are the House Chair and the Senate Chair of the Joint Committee on Education. Secretaries of Education, elementary and secondary, early. Yeah, appointed organizational stakeholders. it still can't hurt to try.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Under new business, finally got this right. We have our one-day liquor license applications for our next two summer concerts. That is August 7th and August 14th. Those applications are in your packet, and that is yet again the Rutland Sportsman's Club. If I could get a motion to sign those two licenses.
So moved.
Second.
And any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
The pilot commission, so we have a drafted select board testimony letter that is available for you to send in. We've had a couple people attend these events. They're not done yet. They didn't make it clear how often they would be happening. I did go out to the one in the Berkshires, and it was very helpful and enlightening. And so we've since asked for a couple of things, some of which was ready tonight, and that was number one, a review of state-owned parcels in Rutland. It was very specifically documented by our assessor, who attended another one of those commission hearings, that some of our state-owned parcels are listed with zero valuation. I think you all read that. That's very, yeah. And then the other thing we're looking to get, which will be put together for us probably by our finance team, is a review of our historical pilot payments received from us, or received from the state to us each year. That's on the cherry sheet. Obviously we're always looking for a little bit more. They have clicked up minimally over the years, but the difference in price per acre is really shocking. So when you look at the high number end, which is Suffolk County, that's nearing $5,000 an acre. And out in the Berkshires, it's as low sometimes as $5 an acre. So the disparity is massive. We have about 30% of our land here in Rutland, which is owned by the state under whether it's just DCR or possibly with more difficulty, the MWRA and water resources. And it's gonna be tough. It's a long haul, this battle. The letter, does anybody have any comments or changes?
I just was wondering if it should go beyond our Senate and representative representation and maybe include in, I don't know who's on the pilot study commission. Also, whether the director of rural affairs, Ann Goby,
She's on it.
Okay, I just see CC here, who is receiving it. I'm wondering if we should broaden it a little bit more to get some more exposure, just as.
Okay. Yeah, any suggestions you have for CC, I think it can't hurt. We'll add whoever you ask.
I'll find out who the chair of the commission is and then also include Ann.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Otherwise, are people okay with that letter for it to be sent out?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I get a motion actually on that, I think?
Motion to send,
Sign and send.
sign and send. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Mattson, aye.
Vote aye.
Second aye.
And aye, thank you.
And thank you to Heather and Amy and the finance team. I'm sure Nick and Kate are working hard also, so thank you to everyone for pulling the information that we've requested. And I didn't realize until the conversation last meeting how challenging it is to get some of the information. It just doesn't, and not challenging from our employees. I don't want it to come across that way at all.
It doesn't.
That-
It doesn't.
yeah.
And I did not do a very effective job of trying to explain why we were finding it so challenging. So I was really appreciative that Amy was able to put it into a vernacular that made a little more sense. So she did a good job with that.
She did a great job.
And I appreciate her and others attending the pilot commission meetings. I haven't been able to attend any. I was hoping to see that they would pull a couple in Central Mass. I'll submit online comments individually also, but I wanted some of this information also, so thank you.
Yeah, I think just for anybody who's watching tonight, you need to know 35% of our land mass is owned by DCR. So that again, that's a combination of MWRA land and the DCR managed lands, and a significant number of, and by the way, Amy found this, 124 individual parcels are owned by the state. And some of them are showing zero valuation. There is really no indirect cost being applied, even though we provide an enormous amount of maintenance and care on these lands, police, fire, emergency services, that we don't get anything from that. We were penalized for years for our growth and for our use of water. And we are a Quabbin Aqueduct host community, and we have no access to Quabbin water. Now we have, frankly, an administration that is championing an increase in housing and offering grants to other communities, and we're not even eligible for those grants. So we were penalized when we were growing, and now we're getting penalized again on the other side. So we can't earn that grant money from it, we're not an MBTA community. So grateful to this commission for the work that they're doing. And I didn't finish my thought. One of the reasons I went out to the Berkshires was because I thought it was one of the last listening sessions, but they noted that they are committed to continuing them through October, and hopefully will be coming to Worcester County, because they didn't include Worcester County communities in any one of the listening sessions in the first round. So please try to attend or send in some testimony. If you are somebody that walks the Quabbin or uses our public lands here in Rutland, and knows them well, whether it's the prison camps or the state park or whatever, our voices will matter in this discussion for sure. And we are one of the fewer communities in Central Mass compared to the Berkshire communities that are so heavily affected as well. Yes.
Have you notified like the Rutland Sportsman's Club of this kind of thing? You might get a lot of support from them. I know they were very supportive of the prison camps and that kind of, so they might provide a group that would go to something like that.
I think that and Ware River Advisory Watershed Committee also, because they're probably aware somewhat, but may not be aware to this level.
I think those are both very good ideas. We can send our letter to them and say, hey, if you'd like to get on this bandwagon, it's a great wagon.
I will certainly include them and also send them the talking points that we came up with.
Thank you. Thank you.
Through the chair?
Yes.
I don't wanna put you on the spot, Heather,
Oh, sure.
because you are doing great.
Uh-oh.
But I'm trying to through a mathematical perspective in my mind. We charge our residents for their land X number of dollars per thousand. And here we own, if I'm not mistaken, the Commonwealth, through different venues, owns nearly 8,000 acres of land. What I did not see was the valuation, even for those that were valued, of what it looked like it would come to like millions of dollars. So if we took those millions of dollars, and I'm wondering if you can help me get that number at some point, took those millions of dollars and divided it by the 100,000, what would the rate per thousand be that the state is paying us, where we have to force our residents to pay so much more money and we're not getting reimbursed at the right amount? That's my mathematical thought.
So I think that's the number that we're all trying to work towards.
Okay.
And I think in Amy's response, she demonstrates where there are some challenges to that. However, we can certainly try to come up with a starting point number for you.
I mean, we're only in the process of this, so that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
And I think that underscores why this commission is so important, because we're certainly not the only community that is looking at this and saying the math is, nobody can follow the math of how the state comes up with these per acre values. I mean, it just is not comprehensible to anybody. And I think that's what the commission's goal is to try to find some sort of uniform application. It probably will never be a number that is satisfactory, but it's, one of the things I think that is important for the board and for residents to also have the perspective that we're finding that even though we feel that we're dramatically underpaid for the value of those parcels, those communities far west of us are being paid even less. And those communities that are the further east are being paid a little more. And so once again, we sort of find ourselves in that middle child position where any changes that the commission may recommend will likely have less of an impact on us in central Mass as opposed to if the goal is to level the playing field, they'll bring those communities far west up, and perhaps the communities in the east bring them down, and then we'll unfortunately maybe plateau. So I think it's important that we continue to bring that point forward, is that just because we're in the middle and the values are also in the middle, that we still don't want to be overlooked in that middle ground. So I think that's an important part of this conversation, is not letting them default to they're good, right? We're gonna take care of the west and we'll adjust the east, and central Mass will just stay where they are. We have to make sure that we are prepared to contradict that.
So I guess what I'm seeing is there's no rate per thousand that's applied equally throughout the state.
Absolutely not. Not even within the same community.
There's a formula that they do talk about and try to explain, and it's a little complex, and it factors in the municipal value of the existing land against the value of all statewide eligible land, and then backs that into the available funding.
Can you imagine being the administrator in charge of that?
Well, I think what's unfortunate is that a plot of land, when you think about Suffolk County and Boston, that sure would have a value if something were built on it, of a very high value. That's the exact point. They're not building something on it. They're keeping it open. And so why should their per acre costs be as high?
And there are some if I may, there are some communities that have state field space or state park, like more that have more amenities than our state park.
Right.
Yes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was appalled that the water is still turned off, the drinking water is still turned off in Rutland State Park. And I asked this weekend, and they said, oh yeah, there's E. coli contamination in the tanks, the well tanks or whatever, they've known about since, they've been turned off since May, at least. I think they were closed off before that, but the notice, and they're still testing it but haven't fixed it. So I thought maybe it was just off everywhere, but I know it's on at Wachusett. There's no water available for anyone going there to drink, like,
Yep.
and not much.
Not without piping and a station, a pumping station, okay?
They have all that there. The tank right now, the well has issues. So it's there, it's all there.
That
But
seems
I just
repairable,
learned, I
but
just
yeah.
learned this,
Yeah.
you know, but so to kind of the disconnect across even very local
Okay.
state parks.
Well, that's not on our agenda tonight. However, it does sound emergent. So Heather, we added to our list of things to do, to make some calls or emails, whatever
Sorry,
we're
I
gonna
just
do.
learned about
No,
it
that's
yesterday when
important.
I asked, because I was like,
Yeah. Yep, for sure. Thank you. All right, I think we've talked enough about that. Did we vote on the letter?
Yeah.
Thanks. All right, moving on to 8.3, the town clerk position. This is a tiny bit out of order. Clearly, we need to start with the job description. So what you have in your packet is the job description that was, I believe, agreed upon a year ago. Please review it, or let us know now, let everybody know now if you wanna see edits, changes, discussion about anything.
I mean, I think it definitely, the job description currently states that it's still an elected position, and,
Yeah.
so I think we need to,
We're gonna update that part for sure.
finesse that, and then, the reporting structure and everything, just, I know the charter is still not complete yet, but make sure that the reporting structure falls in line with the proposal of the charter and kind of everything else. And I don't remember off the top of my head those details, I just, you know what I mean?
Okay. Can I ask about minimum qualifications? So we have high school or equivalent required, an associate or a bachelor preferred. and then a minimum of 3 years responsible management, and then we're looking for licensing and certification, which obviously can't be obtained immediately by anyone who hasn't already been a clerk. And I just wanted to review that piece, make sure that was where everybody was.
I haven't done my due diligence on this piece, the past few days, but is I believe most communities now have appointed / hired town clerks.
Yeah.
Are minimum qualifications in line with most of the surrounding, like our surrounding communities' minimum qualifications? I don't know. I feel like there's a pendulum swing kind of across as far as what the minimums are. And I don't know where that pendulum is, and I don't wanna I wanna try to minimize the swings, if that makes sense.
Anita, is this something that you could share with the Town Clerks Association and ask for their guidance?
Easily.
That would be
And
great.
part of it is the size of the town too, you know, and the population and how many voting precincts that someone has to deal
Oh,
with.
that makes sense.
And with the certification, the town clerk certification is different from treasurer collector. You have to be a town clerk for 3 years before you can even take the test to be certified. So, luckily, like Ben attends all the town clerk association things, so he's working towards that, which I never did. But when I was the assistant clerk, Sally always wanted me to open the office, so it took me a while to get, you know, all of the courses. The only thing that I did have is a 4-year degree, which they give you a little bit of credit for, but that's about it. And I think at the time when they did the description, they did 2, and I don't think it varied very much, but they did one as appointed and one as elected. And I think there was maybe just, I might have it, copy somewhere.
They meaning the board in the fall? So you think there's 2 documents?
Well, whoever was doing the job descriptions.
That was, I think we approved them all with Seth,
Right.
in that whole, it was the whole giant
Right.
packet
And-
of
And
the
I think
salary
that,
adjustments and,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure at that time he had us do 2.
Okay.
And like, it's hardly any difference, but there might have been 1 or 2 things.
All right, so maybe there's another document that we need to pull
I'm
and
sure
make
I
sure
have
it's-
it somewhere too.
Okay.
I might have it in the packet too.
This is the one that was adopted, so that's why I included it in your packet.
This is the one that was adopted.
The one that was approved by the select.
I think the
Oh,
select
okay.
board approved the entire pack of entire document, and I'm not sure if both were in that document, I don't remember off the top of my head,
Right,
so
because then then this would have been the active, essentially the
Right, because
your
that-
her job description.
her job, this was the
Excuse
current
me.
job description,
Okay.
but I feel like there must have been another one because knowing that at some point it would go.
Okay, so that's
Okay.
absolutely worth making
look.
sure.
Okay.
Hopefully it's in the minutes. Okay, so we have a little homework on that, on the job description, thank you. Once we get the job description finalized, which will bring this back again in 2 weeks, we need to start talking about posting and recruitment and the hiring timeframe. And you're here, I'm gonna put you on the spot. How long are you with us? How long are you with us?
I'm saying September 26th.
Oh, maybe, am I?
No.
Well, she gave her a notice.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I missed that,
Yeah.
okay.
It's in the,
Yeah, September 26th.
Thank you though
But
for
I-
checking.
I'm not going anywhere. The November elections are coming up and I will happily, you know, work
Okay.
in November. And I also think I'd love to be a senior worker. Because they're very effective. I've had some wonderful ones.
Right.
But and really want to encourage you to move fast on this because it's a 2-tiered thing. One is to hire a new town clerk and then also to get an assistant in place. And just with all the workload in our office, especially with hours reduced, once the 1st of October, we're gonna be out and running for November's election. Just all the early voting requirements. We've gotten, we have to get out all the all the ballots for all the people that are, everybody wants to vote by mail. And we have 2 full weeks of early voting, so the quicker we can move and have people in place.
Okay, so, I'm sorry, what did you say would be your last day? Cause that was a lot of we.
September 26th. I mean, I'm not, that, I could make it longer than that if it helps the time schedule, you know.
I mean, I guess I need to hear from the board. How long do you want this to be posted for? We're gonna, I assume, post internally and externally. And then, once the deadline is reached, I think the next question is, do you want a search committee to review applications? They would not be under the bounds of open meeting. They could meet privately and then present candidates as finalists to us in open session. Or would we basically handle it as a board, in which case Heather would sort of be on the spot to be the one collating applications and putting everything together for us?
And keeping in mind that you'd have to do all of those interviews, all of the preliminary interviews in open
Right.
session. at
Every
some
single
point.
thing.
Unfortunately, I don't think that you'll get that many applications of qualified people, of people.
Thanks, Anita.
No, it's,
That's a good,
I mean, it's, one, it's the size of the town, and two, it's with the reduced hours. You know, we've got a big population to have a town clerk only work 32 hours. And most aren't going to want to come into a town with only a 20-hour assistant and know that they've got to do elections. I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say during, especially like a presidential election cycle, we have worked easily 80 hours in a week. I mean, it's just, it's part of the thing. Luckily, we have a buffer with the assistant because that person can get paid. But with most town clerks aren't willing to do that because they don't get overtime, you know, so that might scare a lot of people off.
all right.
And just our financial situation, but I could be wrong. And you definitely need somebody with experience. You can't have somebody just because they have been, you know how to manage people or think they know how to run an office. They can't do this job. It would take them forever to get up to speed. We work with like 5 different state agencies that you have to, on the ground, know how to communicate and work with them and to use their systems, so.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
I have a question. Can you work the election as a volunteer without getting paid?
Yes, you can.
Okay, sign me up.
Okay.
I never thought it was a paid position to begin with.
Most people didn't.
That
And
was
we
not
j-
on our agenda. This is a sidebar. You
Oh,
can go out,
oh, I'm sorry.
go out and get hired.
And we do have people that volunteer their time.
All right, so if I may,
Sorry.
would you like a selection committee for this position? This is a big transition for Rutland, right? This is our last elected professional position, right?
Yeah, we should definitely have a search committee. We should not be doing it ourselves, in my opinion, and we should probably post it about 2-ish months from departure date. Like to give a month of, roughly a month of, time for people to apply, and then roughly a month to go through and interview.
Okay.
Hopefully timelines are a little bit, maybe even 3 months, cause really,
Okay.
maybe more like 3.
So with that, based on what we just heard Anita say, we'd be most likely appointing an acting or interim because she would be gone.
I mean, I would stay
Stay.
instead of that kind of turmoil.
Okay, well, it's not turmoil, it's just that to do this right.
Yeah.
We don't, it's definitely not a,
I meant having
30
somebody
day.
coming in as
Okay.
just acting would
Okay.
be difficult,
okay.
especially during the election.
All right, so this is our first August meeting, our next is the 17th. If we had our job description buttoned up and ready to go at the next meeting, it could post before September 1. You're thinking basically a month of posting?
At least,
on
yeah.
MMA, on all the places. and then a month of review and
Interview.
and interviews. Okay,
Well-
and I think the only issue with that timeline is that it literally throws us hiring a new person right at the November election, so we might wanna just push it.
Well, but you just said that you're willing to stay through the November election, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can.
So
I
realistically,
want
we're-
it to be a smooth
so,
transition
Yeah.
yeah, maybe we
So-
would,
and training.
right, so.
Right, but I mean, realistically, we don't have a budget to have an overlapped
No,
role.
no.
So, I mean, you know, could we manage a few days or a week or whatever? Probably, right? But
Yeah.
that's not in the budget, so we
Right.
really can't have that much of an overlap,
No, so we'd have to have a start date of right after
pretty much.
the big November.
Well, let's get it posted, I don't know if we've agreed on a screening committee or a search
No.
committee.
I only said
Ray's
it,
shaking his
that's
head.
that's the only thing that happened and
Okay,
we haven't got input, so.
all right, Harry,
I'm at odds because we don't have the money to hire a steering, a committee, you know, to look into the
No.
people we get. So that means we would pick people from the town.
Mhm.
And in my opinion, they wouldn't basically know any more than we do, and we may have more information to make the selection for the town clerk than they would, even on their recommendations. So although might be a viable thing, I think that's something that falls to the select board to do.
If I may, I did have conversations with several election workers who expressed an interest in participating in a search committee. So I don't know that everybody that would participate in the search committee would be completely unfamiliar with the work of the town clerk's office. So I just offer that was sort of the beginning of this conversation, was an inquiry that I had from individuals that have worked directly with the town clerk's office, asking to participate in the process, so.
And just to clarify, a selective or a search committee would just get basically top three-ish finalists to us, and then we would interview them.
Correct.
So it wouldn't replace us or replace our decision, it would just be to narrow down the pool of candidates.
we could have a couple of select board members, one or two, on this committee, as long as it's not three, then.
Yeah.
Okay,
And we really should have probably one person.
Okay.
Well,
so if we assume that Heather would be the sort of moderator, but without a voting role on this committee, she would just kind of steer it. What do you think, 5 people?
can I just clarify why she would not have a voting role in that?
I don't know, you
It
could
is,
have a
it is
voting role.
it is a position directly reporting to her.
I guess I don't want to take away a vote if there was somebody, I mean, I would certainly participate and provide analysis, opinion at will, as I do. However, if there was a number of people that wanted to participate, I wouldn't wanna take that away, so.
Yeah, but
But
I
it's up,
can't
it's at the
imagine,
board's pleasure.
actually,
Yeah,
I can't-
where you've had more interaction than probably most people will at that level. I would think that you might have a vote, but it would be a breaking vote if there was a tie.
Okay.
You would be the break vote as to who would be submitted to us.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't imagine hiring somebody that's gonna report to me without having input on that selection process, so I'm not even sure, why are, and maybe just, this is now me checking on my own comment, why are we having a search committee on this as opposed to just Heather hiring the position?
Because the special legislation that was enacted specified that the hiring authority is the select board and that the town clerk serves at the select board's pleasure.
It's not often we get black and white answers to things, but there we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So I think it should be a search committee, I think that Heather should be on it, and I do believe that she should have not just a
Alright.
deciding, but a voting
A vote.
role, cause
alright,
it's reporting to her, so again, I would hate to have a position reporting to me that did not that I didn't have any influence over.
Okay, so I threw out 5 as the sort of smallest odd number. 3 does not usually helpful. If 2 spaces are taken up by the town administrator and 1 select board member, we can open up the other 3 to ad hoc residents.
I think that Heather, if we had 3 spots, you just said that you've heard some people had interest in being in that. Would 3 slots be enough in your opinion, or make the most sense?
I think my concern if we make it much larger than 5 is then getting people finding availability for meetings and knowing that this is going to need to be once the applicants are in, a relatively quick turnaround because it's a job search also. So,
Yep.
From our end, we would want to hire on the quicker side as well as from an applicant processing side.
Right,
Yep.
right.
I'm fine with that. 5 people,
Yep.
1 person from the select board, Heather is the second, and then we have 3 other people.
Right.
Do we wanna determine who the person in the select, or do we wanna determine who those people are now, or do we wanna wait until we get the job posting completed?
Let me take a motion from someone to create a selection committee for the position of town clerk with 5 members as described.
So moved.
Second.
Any more discussion?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Maybe a theoretical or maybe a law question, I'm not sure. If one of the members of the select board sits on that committee and recommends one of those people to the committee, that kind of implies that they don't have independent judgment as to which one they would vote for. And I guess that kind of strikes me as odd, as then maybe we shouldn't have a select board member on that committee.
So in my if I may, in my past experience when we did used an internal search committee for a town administrator, there were 2 select board members on. It was still bringing forward 3 recommended candidates. It wasn't even ranked in order. It was just this, yes, move this person forward, yes, move this person forward, yes, move this person forward. So I think to your point, having someone from the board to me is important and makes sense, as there's that level of kind of executive branch insight, but it's not saying I want this person. It's going through the candidates and kind of.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, I just look at it as a transparency issue, I guess.
I would liken it to the voting memberships that we have for some other committees and commissions, right, where we have a select board seat that actually is a voting seat. It doesn't have to be, some of them are non-voting seats. I mean, you could do that as well. You could have a select board member there in a non-voting capacity.
But that,
Of the 3 search committees that I've served on over the years, okay, the members of the committees were all individual people, they were probably suggested by the select board that this person could be a member of the committee and so on and so forth. Or somebody would contact a member of the board saying, I would like to sit on this committee, all right? But that was really the only involvement that had anything to do with the select board, was the fact that it was appointed by members of the board.
I don't feel strongly, we're not reinventing the wheel here either way. There are plenty of search committees that have a select board member on them, there are some that don't. We have had varying success over the years in this town with search committees generally that are internal, but I do think for this particular position, it should work well, so.
I think the other thought of what was said was that I agree with the need of that. Not only because of the pay or because of the hours and the work, but I also think there are people at this stage of lives who are in their positions who don't want to leave. So if you're working for a Hubbardston, or you're in another town or a city, you're comfortable there, so I don't know if we're gonna get your caliber in this town. So we may get 3. I'd love to see 10, but I don't think that's gonna happen personally. So if we get 3, then to me, that's something we don't even need a search committee for. The board can handle 3.
If that happens, then that, yeah, but I think we need to have something in place for the event that we get more than three, and to your point, if we only get three or even four, right, then
Yep.
we can,
Yep.
I mean, honestly, if we get four, we could probably leave it up to Heather to determine the three,
Right.
and then,
Well, all three members that, or all three people that the search committees recommended were accepted by the select board, served the town, two have retired, and one still serves, okay?
I can make one argument for maintaining a search committee, even if there's a small applicant pool, and that is to Heather's point, that this cannot be a private process unless there is a search committee. And you know, you do have people who are in current jobs, and so this would give them a little bit of time before they needed to notify their employer if that was the case. And then, you know, there are search committees that have brought two candidates forward and said, that's all we had, that was qualified, this is all we're comfortable bringing to you. So I think from that perspective, it's probably a good idea to have one. To your point, if we literally get no one applying, then agreed, the search committee would be a moot point, I guess, at that point.
Yeah, I thought about that perspective of privacy. And that, yes, somebody is applying from another town, they don't want that made public at that point in time. Yeah. So that does go favorable to it.
So the motion on the table right now is for five, a search committee of 5 people with 1 select board member and Heather as a voting member. Obviously, none of this is set in stone. If we got to a point where our applications were not rolling in as we hoped, we can review it and come back, bring it back. But for now, or you can amend what's on the table. So I think you made the motion, and I'm not sure we got a second yet. Yeah, we did get a second.
I
We
got a
did,
second,
we have a
yeah.
motion and a second,
Yeah.
sorry.
yep, there was just more discussion, that's all.
Right,
Okay. Was it seconded?
it was second.
Was.
Okay. No more discussion.
Okay, so we're gonna leave it as is, as described, and should we come to a place where we're not getting the recruitment numbers that we had hoped for, we will revisit the need for it. All in favor of the
Okay,
selection committee?
Matt's and I.
Thank you.
No, and I.
One man.
Second, aye.
And do I. All right, thank you. So next meeting, we're gonna come and do a final job description. We'll make sure we have all the documents in case there's more. Thank you for bringing that up. If you find it, please send it over to Heather.
I have it.
And I think we have a path forward. And then we know you are here for one last thing, and that is 8.4, the state primary election is Tuesday, September 1st. We have the warrant here to sign. Is there anything you would like to tell us, Anita?
Well, one, I do want your signatures, but two, there's just a couple of little things that, we, met, our board of registrars met, and we set the days and times for early voting for both September and November. Basically, the state mandates that all of our open office hours, you have to be open, and then you have to be for the primary one weekend. And then for this November, you have to have 2 weekend hours of at least six hours a day, or split it, and I think it's in your packet. So basically, for September, we're gonna be open, we're just open to the public Mondays and Tuesdays, so it'll be 8 AM to 4:30. And then we didn't feel that that was adequate for the state election, so the registrars voted that we'll have like, it starts October 17th, so we'll have 9 to 3 PM for early voting, and then our work hours for Monday and Tuesday of that week. And then we'll switch it up a little, and we wanna offer them some every day. So we have got some 10 to 4 on the Wednesday and 2 to 8 PM, and alternating back and forth. The other day, we're not normally open to the public, we're not on Fridays, but we've always felt strongly that the last Friday, the media is all over the place with Galvin saying this is the last day to early vote. So we picked, we're gonna be open for, I think, 3 hours, just so that people can find us. We also, because of space, we the Board of Registrars voted to shift the early voting to the library. We had talked to Carrie about that possibility, and Ben met with the acting library director and about the schedule, so that they worked all that out, so they had a really good meeting. And a couple of other little incidentals. People are very used to the color of the ballots for early voting and in elections for the primary. And for years we've had questions because it's a pink heading and a blue heading. And traditionally, the blue has always been the Democratic ballot and the pink the Republican. And the media has transferred that into red and blue states, so it's reversed.
Oh.
And that's the way it always was, you know, and doesn't really matter. But people, believe it or not, come in and they say they want the pink ballot or the blue ballot. Well, we don't allow our election workers to give them out based on that. They have to say the party. But for some reason, Galvin's office decided to switch it. And so now everybody's gonna be so confused because there was no need to switch it, just leave it alone. But anyway, but that's a minor something that we just have to be careful, you know, when people are checking in. There are also, I forget how many, I blanked on how many ballot questions there are gonna be in November, a lot. And 2 of them are election related. Question 4 is for same-day voter registration. A lot of states do. Maine has same-day registration. I think there's a good chance that that's going to pass. And if it does, it's gonna be a cost expense because we have to be able to, obviously, you know, we have to keep up and we have to be up to date as people that are coming in to register to vote and voting at the same time, so. And then the other question is question number 3, it's to approve a single party ballot for a primary so that there won't be 2 choices, the Republican and the Democratic, and if we have another political party, it'll all be on one ballot, which that will make a lot of lives easier. So, but just those 2 things. And oddly enough, the one that I think that people really wanted was voter ID, and that was not circulated, so I think that'll come back in the future, but. All right, that's about it.
Yeah, November will be busy. I'm looking at 9 questions, and
Yes.
those numbers have been assigned as of July 21st. Will all of this information be on your upcoming elections page,
Yep,
the
yep,
hours available, all that? Okay,
Yep, we're
Great.
gonna start getting all of that out.
great. All right, I have the warrant in front of us for the 2026 state primary. Could get a motion to sign it.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
That's a night.
Vote aye.
Lemon eye.
Second,
Tib, aye. Thank you very much. Thank you, Anita. That was a
Thank
lot
you.
of information. Some big elections coming up, which just makes all of this more important as you transition away from us. So thank you for everything.
Luckily, I love elections, so.
All right, we have made it through our business for the evening, and it is Heather's turn. Well, thanks, Heather.
Thank you. I just have a couple, as in 2 updates, because I already gave you the 3rd, which was the update on the sidewalks at the Glenwood Elementary School. We've had a couple of conversations over the past year or so about the community energy program. This is a program that was adopted by your town meeting in 2025. And you've had a couple of updates as we have attempted to go out to bid to secure rates for electricity that are better than what you can get through the the default provider, National Grid. We were planning to go out to bid in March, and then we stopped because things were very volatile in the market. We did go out to bid last month, and were able to secure favorable rates of about 16 cents per kilowatt hour, or per kilowatt, which is less than what you're going to be able to get through National Grid. So we're moving forward with that program. There is an update on the town's Rutland Community Energy page, which is linked on the homepage. And so there's some information about the individual rates that you can choose from, as well as a mention of a community public information session, which is scheduled for August 19th in the Blair Conference Room. That will be available in person as well as remote. The contractors from Good Energy will be here to present all of that and answer everybody's questions. On the website, there's also an FAQ that has been uploaded, and we will be advertising this as it gets closer on our social media and on cable access. So I certainly encourage anyone that is interested in this program, because it is an opt-out. There'll be a deadline in September for which residents that do not wish to participate in this program will have to notify Good Energy that they do not want to participate. But I encourage people to either reach out to myself, go on the website. There's also an 800 phone number that you can call Good Energy directly, and they can give you even better information than I'm going to be able to provide. So it's good news, especially going into the fall and the winter heating season. I know that we're all watching every half a penny, so this is a good opportunity to take advantage of that. Also, pleased to let you know that the second time that we applied for the Mass DOT Unpaved Roads Program was the charm. We were awarded $200,000 to purchase a grader, which will not buy us a new grader, but it'll buy us a better than average used grader. So we're really excited about that. Rutland maintains a number of unpaved dirt roads, and this will go a long way to assure that those residents have used and better than good access. So that's my update for tonight.
Thank you very
Was
much.
Chris happy when you notified him?
Chris notified me, and he was ecstatic.
Okay.
Yes, we can check that off the CIPC list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, that's right.
I have one question for the Good Energy, the opt-out piece. I remember when and maybe I'm misremembering, that when we were having the conversations, there's some individuals that are in other agreements that wouldn't be automatically put in. So I just wanna make sure that the public is aware that it's opt-out, but if you have
I should have qualified that by saying eligible National Grid clients.
Okay.
So if you're a customer of National Grid and you are purchasing your electricity through them, this program applies to you. If you are purchasing your electricity through another third-party agreement, then yes, you would be exempt from this program.
But you have the option to opt in
Right,
if
you can
want.
you can certainly opt in, but it won't be as automatic as the National Grid customers. But again, please either, look at the website, there is an 800 number, call that if you have specific questions about your particular address or utility, and or attend the meeting on the 19th remotely or in person.
Thank you. That's good news.
Yeah, it is good news.
And frankly, everyone should check their electric bill and make a decision, right?
Right.
You should know what's happening to you, even if it's happening automatically without you opting into it.
Right. And it may not be a program that suits you, and that's okay too. We just want to make sure that as many people who have the opportunity to save, it will not be a significant, it's not 25 cents off the National Grid rate, but it is a few pennies, and that certainly adds up, especially in January.
And I think the intent also was that it stays consistent and not subject to the fluctuations that a lot of times are seen
Right.
with the seasonal usage.
Yeah. And those details are also provided on the website. That is a good point.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other business to come before the board? Hearing none, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, third.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 I'm going old school.
Second.